You guys are going to be on the road. Is this just you, Natasha, or
This is just me. Moshe makes me go out and make money for the family.
Hell
So
God.
me and my 1-year-old go out on the road.
Are you really going with your 1-year-old to Tampa?
Yes.
And you're taking her?
She's always wanted to see Tampa.
Oh, we're back at You Up with Nikki Glaser. I'm here with Moshe Kasher and Natasha Leggero. Check out their new podcast, the Endless Honeymoon Podcast, which just launched yesterday on iTunes Podcast. Oh, here we go. Let's get into some calls. You guys want to take some live calls?
Hell
Let's
yeah.
see what you got. Let's talk to Caitlin in Chicago. Caitlin, welcome to You Up. What is your relationship problem?
Hi, Nikki. Thank you. I am calling you guys because my boyfriend drinks not enough to be a psychoabusive alcoholic, but enough that he's really annoying.
Just enough to be Jewish.
How much is that? Is that every night?
It's at least maybe 2 times every 2 weeks, so I guess once-ish a week.
How old are you? How old is he?
I'm 23. He's 27.
And what are some of the annoying things he does when he drinks?
He'll just tell really long stories that make absolutely no sense. Like, when I'm saying really long, like an hour long.
No.
Did you hear Nikki's story earlier?
In my bed.
No. Oh, my God.
Oh, nothing. Go ahead.
How dare you?
He'll sit on the edge of your bed.
Yeah, just sit on the edge of my bed and, like, look at me and just, like, stare at me. And I'm just, like, trying to go to bed.
Is this a bed you share with him?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
how long have you guys been together?
It's not like the 2 drink sexy. We've been together for 2 years.
Okay. And has he always drank like this?
Once a week?
Like, it depends. He works in the service industry as well, so sometimes he'll use that as an excuse to come home. And I've worked in the service industry. I don't anymore. And I'm just like, I don't care. I want to wake up early and have coffee. I don't want to stay up all night.
I'm just going to come out here and say it. I think that you guys are maybe more buddies, and I think that you should probably start considering dumping each other.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, are you attracted to him?
Oh, absolutely.
But she's like, he like sits on the end of my bed and just stares at me.
That's so weird.
It's
Yeah.
definitely annoying.
Moshe does that. I like it.
Yeah, often Natasha will wake up and I'll just be making eye contact with her. And I just say, well, every time we make love, by the way, I say, I love you so much, never leave me. Which has been,
That does get intense.
Yeah, girls really like that, I think.
I mean, that's my vote. Do you have a vote, Moshe?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure this is a serious call. Are you actually annoyed by him, or do you just love him so much and you wanted to roast him a little bit?
No, it's definitely a little bit of both. My dad's an alcoholic, though, so I do take it seriously.
Yeah.
You sound pretty serious.
Caitlin, I think that this guy, it's only going to get worse. That's the way drinking is. Like, it'll be one night a week that he's telling these long stories at the end of your bed. It's going to cut to, like, if you want to, it's only going to get worse unless he addresses this problem. And it seems, if he's embarrassing when he drinks, just trust me, like, it's happening within your apartment at this point. When you bring him out and introduce him to your family and friends, like, you're going to be humiliated by this guy and his long stories.
Well, I'm just not convinced that this, like, does he really have a drinking problem?
I've been talking a lot about it with a lot of people lately. I don't know. We're kind of uncovering it as time goes on.
So is it actually a little more serious than you're leading on? Because it sounds like if you say he drinks once every 2 weeks and tells a long story, that doesn't sound like an alcoholic. It sounds like a fisherman. Like, but if he, are you covering up a bit?
I mean, there's definitely, I think that maybe his drinking comes from something else. I don't know if it's necessarily alcoholism.
Also, if someone's personality changes when they're drinking, that's a good sign. And if they're becoming annoying, like, I only become more effervescent and charming. And so, I should drink.
Wait, tell me about this. What thing is it that you think he's drinking to cover up?
His parents are evangelicals from the South, and aren't aware of anything in his life, essentially. So I think that's the big thing.
Another reason to not marry him. You don't want to marry into that family. Get on a dating app. Let him live there for a while.
Have you guys talked openly about his drinking? Have you ever had a conversation with him about it?
Oh, every day. Every day.
You talk to him every day?
He knows that I'm on here right now. Like, he's aware.
Okay.
Got it.
Well, what does he say?
He says that he doesn't want to be that and that he is going to work really hard to not be that. But it doesn't often change. And I listen to Nikki every morning, and when I saw the Collin, I was just like, you know what, maybe you guys have a little bit of different advice than I've heard from my 20-year-old friends.
What are your 20-year-old friends telling you?
Dump him.
Oh, so you want us to tell you to stay with him and find a way to fix him. Is that right?
Maybe not that, but essentially.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with alcoholics, if he is an alcoholic, and I kind of get the spidey sense that we're not hearing the full story, we're hearing the fun, I listen to Nikki every morning story, is the problem with alcoholics is that they don't necessarily change in the way that you want them to change. They change in the way that alcoholics change, which is that they get worse, right? It's like a progressive illness, and it gets worse over time. If he's in fact an alcoholic, then it's not that there's no hope, because I'm sober for a long time, and I stopped drinking, but they can never change in the way that you want them to change. And so if the hope is that you're going to be able to fix him, if he's an alcoholic, bad news, you will not fix him.
Yeah.
They are not fixable by outside influences, and the only thing you can do is fix yourself, which is find a way to figure out what alcoholism actually is.
And Moshe, have you ever heard a story where someone has a problem with their drinking and they decided I'm going to work on it and not do that anymore? Has that ever worked?
Well, I mean, it works if they are self-motivated. I mean, that's the whole thing about alcoholism, right, is that you have to realize that you have a problem and you have to want to change. And if somebody doesn't want to change but somebody else wants them to change, that's just not how it works. Mm-hmm. So I guess
exactly.
If he's
do I give ultimatums?
Nothing you can do if he's an alcoholic will actually change him. The only thing you can do is figure out a way to change yourself. I mean, you can go to Al-Anon, you can read books about what it actually is like to live with an alcoholic and realize that you can't. It is literally like living with somebody with schizophrenia. Would you give an ultimatum to a man with schizophrenia and say, if you don't stop hearing those voices, then I'm out of here? So no.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
There are no ultimatums that will make a man who is an alcoholic stop drinking or drink less. There is only a way to change yourself.
I think can you tell people to check out Al-Anon? I don't know the rules of it.
Course.
But Caitlin, if you were raised by alcoholics in any way and then you're attracted to someone who might have a drinking problem, just go check that.
Al-Anon's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. Go check out that. Go to some meetings. Try a handful of meetings.
And the main thing in Al-Anon that they tell you, the first step, right, is that you're powerless over the alcoholic in your life. And that is the bad news. You will not be able to change him. You'll only be able to change yourself.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right, let's take another call.
Yeah, thanks for calling in and listening, Caitlin. Squirt, squirt. Okay, let's go to...
Get on Raya.
Yeah, if they'll allow you. You have to be vetted. Ugh. Dukes. Let's go to Dukes in Detroit. What's up, Dukes?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay.
Welcome to the show. Yeah, we can hear you. What's going on with you?
Yeah, what's going on with your name? Why is it that?
Why is your name Dukes?
That is my actual name. That's my actual name. It's my last name. I go by my last name. It's my actual name.
Okay.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. I actually follow Nikki on Instagram. I just messaged you a little while ago about the womanizer and love it. So, anyway.
Oh, yes. I think I remember. I get a lot of those messages, but I think I remember yours. And thank you for saying, yeah, the womanizer, it sucks your clit. It's a great toy.
Oh, I thought that was your relationship issue, is that you were with a womanizer. I didn't realize you were talking about a sex toy.
It's a sex toy, yeah. No,
well,
that's the only thing going.
Okay, so
yeah,
it's kind of about that. Okay, so this segue. So this guy, me and him kind of like hooking up for like 4 years now. So he actually went to LA to pursue his career in comedy, and he's hilarious. And in order to not
someone at this table has fucked him.
He's in comedy in LA.
That's gonna ruin this whole call. supportive, like, yay, go for it, be famous or whatever. And so I see him, like, every few months or whatever. And so I'm back home, like, we're not in a real relationship, it's like a situationship, and I'm back home going on these trash-ass dates, and every time I, like, go on a trash-ass date and I don't, have a good time, I'm like, ugh, can he just come back? Or can, like, something happen? And I'm like, is it time, the basic real question is it time to just tell him, like, I really want your penis and other stuff in my life? Or do I just, like, keep it like it is?
Did you say I really want your penis in my life?
She's trying to be romantic, but she's not
and
the type.
other stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
should you tell this man who has moved to Los Angeles to pursue his career far away from Detroit
that you want to get married?
That you love him and want him forever?
I don't want to get married. I never said that. You said that. I don't get married. I just want you to know that, like, I like you, and I don't want to bum these other lames, and I don't want to go on these trash-ass dates anymore. But, like...
Well, we have two constant bits of advice on this podcast. One of which is that communication is always a good thing. That the best disinfectant is oxygen, right? So, like, of course you should tell him. And the other thing we always say is that you deserve to be happy. Right, you definitely, Dukes. Even with a name like Dukes, you deserve to be happy and not to be settling for somebody you don't want. But the bad news is somebody has moved. He's already kind of told you what his priority is. He's in L.A. He's on stage right now, living his best life. So you should tell him for sure.
And also, there is an idea, Dukes, that if you do tell him and it's not going to happen, at least it would free up a little bit of space in your life and maybe even in your heart to meet someone who you really like. More than the trash-ass dates.
So you mean that if she gets a final answer from him, she won't be waffling. She can either
find someone more, find someone, and you have no interest in moving, right?
I like the sun. Like,
what is the best case scenario for you? That he says, move here and let's be together?
I'm not even trying to be married and all that. I just need you to know, like, you're the penis for me. I'm the vagina.
But what do you want out of that?
You don't want him fucking other girls.
Yeah, I mean, because to me the bad news or reality is that he's already kind of told you what his priority is. His priority is his career, which is why he moved away from you. If he was madly in love with you, probably he would have said, come with me, or I'm not leaving. So he's already there, but I think you should tell him so you can get an answer. So he'll either say, I love you forever, Dukes, come to L.A., or he'll say, well, I'm really kind of trying to pursue my comedy career right now, and then you can finally open yourself up to the world of trash-ass dates in the greater Michigan area.
I have a feeling what's happening is he comes home and then you guys fuck. And I think that if you feel like that's kind of, playing with you a little bit and fucking you up, maybe you need to not do that anymore.
What do you think, Nikki? What should she do?
I mean, I think that I just don't understand what she wants. She's saying I don't necessarily want to move to LA or whatever, but you just want to see him when he comes to Detroit for Christmas? I mean, like, what's the end game here?
And no, he doesn't fuck anyone in LA.
Yeah, and you want to talk to him on the phone every night and FaceTime and have him fly out and see. Like, I get what you want a commitment from him, but what is that going to look like? That's not going to be even fulfilling. He lives in LA and you live in Detroit.
Tell us his name and we will tell you if he's fucking anyone.
I will DM you the name. Do you think that my dates are trash because I'm making them trash?
100%.
Yeah.
Because you're hung up on this guy.
Yeah, you got your mind on a guy who's on stage at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood having fun fucking girls after the show, and so you can't see if there's anybody worthwhile in front of you. And I'm sure that there is. I bet you already know the answer to your question. You know what he'll say to you if you tell him that you love him or whatever it is that you're feeling for. You already know. You know. Right?
Okay, I guess. I don't know. If I knew,
I think you should definitely, if you hook up with him again, do not fuck him anymore. Like, when he comes back to town, no more fucking him. You can do other stuff, but don't let his penis in you because it's making you have trash ass dates. Because you're staying connected to him, you're staying bonded to him. So stop having sex with him.
But communicate that to him.
Yes.
You know, give him a chance to say, okay, you know, I guess has been 4 years and I don't like anyone more than you.
Yeah.
But usually when people are at the beginning of their careers in a new city is not a good time to like.
Yeah. How could you connect with somebody in Michigan when you're living in a fantasy in Los Angeles that you're not even actually in? You're just thinking, oh, someday he'll call.
But DM us who it is, please.
Yeah, we do want to know if
we
he's
do want to
funny.
know if he's killing it. I have a feeling we won't know who it is.
I have a guess on who it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dukes, thank you for your call. We got to go to break here soon, but I completely agree with you. Like, I've been off and on with my ex-boyfriend for the past 2 years since we've officially broken up. And I've been dating other guys in that time, but like I can't let anyone in because I was waiting for this guy to want to marry me.
Well, there's also a particular thing I relate to Dukes in this long distance relationship thing. When you're afraid of intimacy, a long distance relationship is like the perfect thing.
It really
because
is.
you only see them quarterly, but the whole time you can like entertain a fantasy, and it can allow you to have the fumes of your dysfunctional love life feel totally not dysfunctional because you're like, oh no, I'm entertaining this relationship with a person who lives 6,000 miles away. That's love, and then you never have to do the actual work that love is. Love is like hard work, and it's in your face, and it's every day.
I agree with you. I think I went from when I was scared of intimacy, I dated guys that had girlfriends. Then I dated guys that were long distance. Like I kept getting closer to what I thought was intimacy. But long distance, whenever someone's in a long distance relationship, I'm like, you're scared of intimacy.
Yeah, intimacy is not 4 weekends a year.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to Jacob really quick in Montana. Jacob, before we go to break, let's hear your relationship problem.
Hey,
Hi,
guys,
Jacob.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes.
So I
You're
live
on
in
with
Montana,
Natasha and Moshe. Hi.
And I'm a homosexual male. You know, I'm gay, and that shouldn't be too big, but it's a big problem right now because I fell in love with this awesome guy. He's a great guy, but we don't connect too much. And I started talking to a guy online, and I really like him. But the problem is I feel like I'm cheating. I don't know how to communicate to the person that I've fallen in love with and let them know what's going on. So I just want to hear your guys' opinions.
Wait, the first person you've fallen in love with, but you don't have anything in common with him and you don't really like talking to him?
We're like polar opposites. You know, like we don't have a lot in common together, and that is what is hurting our relationship right now, is the fact that
So
we
you
disagree on
like his
everything.
body.
Yes, love his body. Oh my God.
Got
So
it.
that's it. So it's just
when,
about sex.
So when you say fall in love, what you mean is I laid him down on the prairie, looked up at that big sky, and made love to him under the Montana sun. Yeah. I mean, well, our first advice to you is move out of Montana. We guarantee you think you should move to a place like West Hollywood or any major cities. Well, you got to.
Is he Sprung, the boy that you're in love with?
Yeah, he was born in Montana. I was born in Kansas, so I came over here. I don't know why, but I'm here. And,
you moved to the big city. The big city. You got to get out of Kansas to get to a more sort of vibrant urban area, huh?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So who's the other guy? Where'd you find him?
Well, he just hit me up on Facebook Messenger of all places, and I just kept talking to him. And you know, we have a lot in common, which is more than I can say with the dude I'm currently in a relationship with. So that's where it kind of all started. He's also a very attractive man. He has a lot going for him as well, which helps the case. You know, he seems.
Have you met him yet?
Yes, I have, which seems kind of cheaty. I know. I shouldn't.
Oh, you met up? Did you sleep with him? Did you hook up with him?
I didn't fuck with him. That's the only thing I haven't done, and he doesn't know I'm in a relationship. Is the entire problem.
Oh.
Got it. So you're lying to two people at the same time, and you're wondering what to do?
Yeah, that's what's going on.
And it's hard because he probably lives in an area where it's like when you finally met this first guy, you're like, oh my God, you know.
I gotta hold on.
I found the one gay guy in Montana. Oh my God, there's two. It's clear what you need to do, and you already know. Why are you even calling? You know what you need to do.
What do I need to do?
What does he have to do?
You need to tell these people what's going on. Lying indefinitely is definitely not the solution.
That's the last.
He needs to break up with the other guy.
That's the last thing you want to do?
I just don't like confrontation. I put myself in this place, so I guess I deserve this. But that's
well,
gonna
can't
be
you
the
just
hardest
tell
thing
the
for
guy
me.
that you're? Can't you tell the guy, the first guy, whatever his name is, the one you're in love with who has a hot body, and the one you're in love with his body? Can't you just tell him that you want to, take a step back and have a more open relationship, and you're not ready for commitment, and you'd like to still be able to see him, but you are kind of interested in not being tied down right now. You're young. You're in Montana.
And when they say tied down in Montana, it's a whole different thing. It's steer wrangling. I mean, you're so lucky. You're actually really lucky, Jacob, because you haven't done anything stupid yet. All you've done is flirted. So you're not in the I'm a dirtbag zone. You're in the you're pre-dirtbag right now. So you can go to your partner and you can say to him, "I love you, but I'm not satisfied. I want to see other people."
And the truth is, you don't love him. You love his body.
Right. He might surprise you and say, "Well, this is Montana and anything goes," or he might say, "I can't deal with that. I need to break up with you." And then you got your information. You're gonna fuck the other guy, guaranteed.
Oh, guaranteed.
You're going. I mean, you're doing it.
And does he need to be clear with this new guy that he was in a relationship when they first met? He doesn't need to disclose
I don't think
that?
that's important.
Okay.
Neither of them are going to work out, so don't worry about it.
Jacob, good luck, though.
Jacob, can you do it? I mean, you're not a bad guy here. You haven't done anything wrong. I think that you need to remember that you might hate confrontation, but just know that this is a normal problem to have, and it's uncomfortable, but you're not a bad person, and you definitely need to tell the guy you're currently seeing about it, and just be completely honest. Be like, I met up with this guy. I'm sorry, it was wrong.
Nothing
happened. I didn't sleep with him,
but it just made me realize that I'm not really ready to be tied down.
Yeah, the reality is, Jacob, that both of you deserve to have the truth in your relationship. You deserve to be happy, and he deserves to have a partner that tells him the truth.
Yeah, and I do think you'll be rewarded if you can muster up the courage to say this to him. And honestly, there's never a good time to do a bad thing, and it's not going to feel good, but you're just going to have to force yourself to say it.
You'll feel so good afterwards. Right now, you're just living in this constant agita of oh, I'm a bad person. I have this looming discussion I have to have. Just go do it and get it over with, and you're gonna feel so good on the other side of it, because honestly, you're calling in because you feel bad. You feel you're not a bad person. You're not a malicious person, and this is a common problem to like two people and to feel unsatisfied in a monogamous relationship.
And it's gonna feel way worse once you're fucking both of them, and then you have to tell them.
Yes.
Like the difference between I want to see other people.
I already feel like a shit person, and so that's why I'm just trying to take a step back and hear. I really appreciate you guys giving me your honest opinions. That's helping me with the.
Yeah, you're not a shit person at all.
Yeah, the difference between telling someone I need to see other people and I've been seeing someone else is so gigantic, and it's so much worse to do the second one. It's just look him in the eyes, tell him I wish I knew how to quit you. And go have some Montana fun.
And hopefully make it so you can still fuck him, since you like fucking him so much.
Yeah, I don't think either of these things are over. And I think that maybe he's thinking the same thing. You have no idea. Oftentimes that's what happens.
He could be DMing the same guy right now, and you guys could have a real wild steer wrestling contest.
Thanto you, Jacob.
Good luck, Jacob.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
I'm loving this. I'm learning so much. You guys really I thought it was all going to be jokes, but you give really sound advice.
Well, I've had 15 relationships, and Moshe was in AA for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
30 years? How old do you think I am?
Yeah.
Weren't you in it since you were 10 or something?
Yeah.
I was 15 when I got sober.
Yeah.
Sorry, 25 years you've been
true.
in AA.
You have a lot of work behind you and ahead of you. I really do love your relationship. And let's get into someone who is also married, who has a question about being married for 9 years. Mark in Montana.
Mark in Montana.
I didn't even know so many men lived in Montana.
Mark, are you a secret homosexual that's been DMing with a young man named Jacob?
No, not secret homosexual. Been married for 9 years. Not to say that I didn't venture when I was younger with the guys, but whatever.
Hey, there you go.
All right.
You're married to a woman?
Yeah,
I am married to a woman. 9 years. I love my wife more than anything. She's my rock.
Sweet.
But our sex life is just it's just not there. I mean, number wise, if once a month happens, that's it. We also have a 5-year-old girl little girl that I don't know if that plays a part in it, or I don't know. Maybe I want some advice on how to spark things up, or I'm lost at this point. Like I said, I love my wife more than anything.
Are you still attracted to her?
I think that would come into question. I'm not to say that, I'm the best looking guy out there either, but, 9 years of marriage, bodies change. You have a kid. I can totally respect that. Women give up their bodies. But every time I seem to get into shape, it almost seems like it depresses her more if I get,
Sure.
that flat stomach going, and if I start hitting the gym more. It almost seems like she gets discouraged. She's tried multiple diets and stuff like that, and it just doesn't ever seem to work for her. So, is there a way I can motivate her? Or how do I spark the sex back up? It just, and the sex is kind of, when we do, it seems kind of, almost
obligatory.
Seems kind of boring.
Yeah, right.
It's real vanilla.
Are you initiating and she's rejecting you, or is she? Why don't you have sex?
I wouldn't say that she rejects me if I try to initiate it. I'd say over more of the last 6 months, she kind of seems to like, oh, just get off of me, and not in like that mean sort of way, but it's it's just, yeah, she doesn't really engage too much, and like I said, I don't know if that's because I've thrown my body into shape and she feels embarrassed, or but
what do you do to throw your body into
support.
shape? What do you do? Do you go to the gym?
Yeah, I hit the gym. I cut back on the fast food. I fluctuate a lot. If I eat fast food for two weeks, I definitely throw on 5 or 6 pounds easy. But it's easy for me to drop it off.
Do you think she would be interested in going to the gym or exercising with you? Is that something you could like do together? Because what are those things like? Aren't there like 4 different ways you can connect with people? And it's like you can give gifts, you can spend quality time together, you have sex. Like, is there any way you could like create some quality time, but is also you guys like working out and getting her feeling a little bit better about herself?
Yeah,
or is that not even
that's
interested?
The thing. If I ask her to, hey, you want to go? Let's go for a run or something like that. Let's just cruise around the block with the dogs. She just she'll come up with some sort of an excuse, which I also kind of think goes back on she's depressed with herself, and how do I motivate my wife to and it's not that I don't tell her I love her. I do that all the time. Anytime we go out, even if it's to something simple, we go out to dinner often, but the second she gets dressed, I'm like, you look good. You look good tonight. And I don't really know what else to do. And I don't want this to fall apart over sex.
Well,
I love her more than anything.
Yeah, it reminds me of this saying from AA, which is if nothing changes, nothing changes. So you're trying to figure out what to do. But what's clear is that what you've been doing isn't working. So continuing to try to do the same things. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So you have to try something new. Like, you deserve sex. She deserves sex. If you deserve an intimate relationship, but she also is going through some stuff. Have you talked openly and directly about your sex life problems and about your worries about her self-esteem and stuff?
It was a conversation that was more of like a year ago. And
so no.
The conversation was rough. We haven't talked recently at all. No, not in that aspect.
Yeah. That's what happens, right? Is you have these awkward things that you don't want to talk about because they're embarrassing. You think she might be depressed, and you might be depressed about her body, which is even more embarrassing. So you don't talk about it, and you don't fuck, and so it's like pouring water on top of a terrible weed in your relationship that's choking out all the oxygen.
And also, maybe couples therapy would be something.
Absolutely. Have you thought about going to couples counseling?
No, we've never even talked about therapy. No, that's never been brought up.
Well, let me ask you this: What if I told you?
Go ahead.
What if I told you I was married to a woman who seemed depressed and wasn't able to motivate herself to exercise or have sex with me, and I wouldn't talk to her about it? What would you tell me to do?
You got to talk about it. So yeah, I guess if going to somebody helps both of you out, then sure, I don't see why that wouldn't
Absolutely.
work.
Right?
And you can say too, like, how important. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you can let her know how important it is to you that the family stays together, and how much, your child is important, and how much your relationship is important, and you just want you guys to grow and have it be how it used to be. You want tools to figure out how to get you guys back on track. And maybe she needs to go to a therapist on her own. Maybe she still has some sort of postpartum depression or something.
Yeah, because just hoping that she's going to, like, snap out of it, start fucking you like a crazy, Las Vegas prostitute one day and become happy and fit is wishful thinking. It's not going to happen. But there's all these choices you have. You have all this you listen to Nikki Glaser. You know what you need to do. Get a subscription to Submission School. Watch her with your wife. Watch some porn. Get a vibrator.
That's
buy
an
her
easy
a vibrator.
thing, watching porn together.
Just change something.
I think I'm definitely a lot more adventurous than she's 5 years older than me. I'm 31. She's 36. But she hasn't had as many sexual partners as I have. Before we got married, we were all kind of upfront about that. So I guess I don't really know how to. I've never.
Well, if it makes you feel better,
tried new things.
If it makes you feel better, I have had sex with like 17 people, and I thought that was so many. And then Moshe told me he's had sex with 400.
Well,
so you probably haven't had sex with that
a
many
whole
people. You can use that as an example to her when she thinks that you're. She's just gonna have to step up. Like, if she wants to be like really vanilla in bed and not like try to please you or initiate or do fun things that you might think would be fun, like, I don't know, then maybe you'll uncover that in couples therapy and deal with that issue then.
But she can't step up if she doesn't know she needs to, and so you have to tell her what's going on. You can't, because what will happen is you won't fuck her for 5 years, you'll get frustrated, resentful, and then you'll divorce her. And if that's not what you want, then you have to get some sunlight in your relationship, because just keeping it all bottled up and hoping that it goes away, that's a fool's errand. And if you're really horny, I do know a guy named Jacob in the greater Montana area that he can take care of you right now.
I think you guys are dead on about the couples therapy. I think that if you love your wife as much, and she probably loves you just as much, she probably doesn't want you to be depressed and sad, and that's what's making you depressed. Her depression, and you're depressed too, it sounds like, in your own way, and you don't want to be anymore, and you want to get better, and you want her to get better. So
and you don't want to feel like you can't go to the gym and like get in shape, or she'll feel mad.
I think just couples counseling, and she might feel extremely threatened by that and not want to go because that person's just gonna you guys are gonna gang up on me. But you sound like a really nurturing, caring guy. You can let her choose the therapist, like you can choose it together, but make it seem like you've given this a lot of thought and that you just want her to be happy, but also you want to be happy, and you want her to want you to be happy, and work on it together. But I think bringing a third party in is the way to go.
A threesome with Jacob for sure.
Yeah.
I think that also the problem is that you're worried about your relationship ending, so you don't say anything and you kind of tiptoe around it. But the relationship is ending currently. Your relationship is ending unless you change something. So it's not an option when you talk to your wife and say, I want to go to counseling. It's not optional, because the reality is it can end in 5 years or it can get better now. You got to change something.
Do it for your child.
But also, she deserves something special. Take her out. Leave Montana.
Yeah.
We went and got our shoes measured.
I got my feet measured. You wouldn't do your feet because you were afraid of your feet on camera.
Right.
But you think too many people masturbate.
That's true. I don't like to have my feet on camera, not because I'm ashamed of them, but because I put them on camera before and people jerk off to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they jerk off to your face.
Yeah,
and your body.
And I struggle with all of that, which brings us to...
Yeah, let's look at our show photos.
First of all, the button down.
Yeah.
He wore this button down. He thinks he got lucky because we're filming today that he is wearing this button down. We're lucky, apparently.
First of all, my brother gave me 3 button downs when I went to his mansion recently, and he goes, he's too skinny for him now, and he knows that I'm fatter. So he gave me the button. He gives me all his clothes that he's getting too small for.
Right. And this jacket, too, you're not responsible for that.
This was a dog owner's that I walked his dog. And I think instead of maybe paying me, he gave me the jacket. Or it's like a bonus.
And how do you get most of your shoes?
From you?
Yeah.
Because you order too big?
No, I don't order too big. I order just the right size. Did you know that he fits into a girl's size shoes? Yeah.
They're not women's shoes. Her feet are so big, they're women's.
No, well, I wear a 7.5 men's, and he also wears a 7.5
No,
men's.
I don't.
I wear a 10 in women's, and his foot is like a 9.5 girls 10.
Oh.
No,
It's
I
really hard
squeezed
for him
into
to
it. You know when someone
accept.
gives you a present, and whether it's big or small on you, you're gonna accept it with open arms, and that's what I did. And then I put the shoes on my
It wasn't
feet.
a present. I was just like, these don't really fit me. You should try them on.
I thought it was a gift from your heart.
No, it was from my bunions. First of all, the opposite of my heart.
Have you ever put a wedding dress on?
No.
Would you want to?
No, it's like holding an Emmy. I want to only do it when I do it, right? Like, would you put on a wedding dress?
Is it bad luck to put a wedding dress on?
I don't think it's bad luck. I just think that I would feel stupid. Yeah.
But a guy puts a tux on all the time. There's always like that, like, you have that certain dress that you have to wear. I don't know. And you don't get to wear it unless you get married, unless someone chooses you.
I'm going to wear for my wedding dress, I'm going to wear the dress that Tiffany Haddish wore a million times.
What, she wore a wedding dress a bunch?
You don't know that story about Tiffany
I
Haddish?
kind of remember.
Okay,
She wore it to every,
Doesn't
no,
work.
but no, she wore it to every
She wore like a white
every award
dress
show.
to like every award show. It'd be
Yeah.
so funny to wear that as my wedding dress. Be like, can I borrow that, Tiff?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Just get ahead of it and put a ring on your finger. Take the
I
power
don't even
away.
wear
You know how
rings.
sometimes people will say a word to take the power away from it? If you
Yes.
put on an engagement ring that you bought yourself,
Sometimes I do have rings that they only fit that finger. And then you just wear it and you're like, I'm married for the day, right?
and who cares? I don't know. That's why I wore this button down today, to take ownership. What am I gonna just only wear this on my wedding day?
Hey guys, you just watched a clip from my radio show, You Up with Nikki Glaser, that you can hear every morning on Comedy Central Radio, SiriusXM channel 95, 10 to 12 Eastern. And you can check out a clip here on YouTube every Tuesday.
Or check out my podcast.
No!